very much. Next speaker is head of the department of the ophthalmology, Patna AIMS, Dr. Amit Raj, who is a postgraduate from BHU, and then he did senior residency for LHMC, and he was consultant assistant professor at Government Medical College in Chandigarh, and now heading the department of ophthalmology at Patna AIMS. Dr. Amit, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please share
Thank you, sir,
yeah.
for kind introduction. I am sharing my screen.
He will be talking on this another important thing. You know that nowadays there is a rampant use of intravitreal injections for Avastin or any other anti-VEGF. So these are creating a new problem. So Dr. Amit Raj will be throwing some light on these emerging situations.
So at the outset, I am thankful to Dr. Subhash Prasad, sir, for making me part of this IC. So coming to my topic, phacoin post-intravitreal injection cataract. As there is paradigm shift in the management of common retinal diseases, diabetic retinopathy, CRPO, hypertensive retinopathy, and ARMD. Use of intravitreal injection has increased, and it has led to it is one of the most common procedure intraocular procedure worldwide. In US, this number has surpassed even the number of cataract surgery. So any procedure comes with its complication. So what are the complications related to intravitreal injection? So right from subventral hemorrhage to raised IOP, vitreous hemorrhage, retinal detachment, INDOF, and dreaded CRA, and cataract formation. So coming to the topic of discussion, cataract formation post intravitreal injection. So I searched literature and found one of the largest series published by Jared Salchi in American Journal of Ophthalmology. They have studied around 63,000 cases of cataract surgery, and out of which they found in 1,035 cases there was history of intravitreal injection. And PCR occurred in 650 of these eyes. After logistic regression, it was found that there was increased risk of PCR in eye who had received intravitreal injection. Second study that has been just recently published in Current Eye Research. In this study, again, out of 10,327 cataract surgery, there was history of 300 in 308 eye. There was history of intravitreal injection, and out of in 2.6% cases there was PCR, while only 0.5% PCR occurred in cases who did not receive injection. So coming to the mechanism, how this cataract develops. So one of the most important common mechanism for it, whether it is site of the injection or quadrant of injection, site is not properly followed. Patient may be uncooperative, and so basically one should immobilize the eye wall while giving injection. There may be inadvertent jonular trauma. It may be directly in jonular trauma or may be due to deformation of eye wall during injection. It can hit the lens, or there may be direct posterior lens capsular puncture. It also depends on the type of injection, whether anti-VEGF has been given or intravitreal triamcinolone has given or dexamethasone. In intravitreal triamcinolone, there was found that around 50% of cases there is cataract formation. So, what precautions one should take while giving intravitreal injection? So, first one should consider phakic status of the patient, whether patient is phakic or aphakic or pseudophakic. In phakic patient, one should give injection 4 millimeter away from the limbus. or in pseudophakic and efficacious, it should be given 3 to 3.5 millimeter away from it. Which gauge of needle should be used? Ideally, one should use 30 gauge 0.5 inch needle because pain due to intravitreal injection is less and chances of, again, due to short length of needle, chances of hitting the lens is very low. Direction of needle is also very important. Direction of needle should be towards the middle vitreous or towards the posterior cone. And always one should give injection slowly, otherwise there is chances of opening of the needle from the injection and it can hit the lens also. So how we will know there is PC defect preoperatively? That is very important. So one should take thorough history and detailed ocular examination. Pupil should be dilated and on slit lamp, if we see on retroillumination, there can be little track or in the directly in the cataractus lens also, or there may be loss of convexity of entire lens capsule. One can take diagnostic modality for helping in these cases. And UVM is one of the important modality that can help in this condition. In cases where there is dense cataract, one can use B-scan ultrasonography. And if there is ability of intersegment OCT, it can be helpful in localizing the defect in PC. And in some cases, one can use SAM-plug imaging, pentacam. So another study again in which all the three modalities, intersegment OCT, SAM-plug imaging, and UVM was compared, and it was found that sensitivity and specificity of UVM is better than intersegment OCT and SAM-plug imaging. So, what are the key issues in the management of these cases? As there is PC defect, there is always increased risk of nucleus drops. So, there should be VR setup or there should be assistance of VR surgeon. As there is a chance of complication, there is prolonged surgery, so perivalvular anesthesia should be given in these cases. And patients should be counseled for probable complications. Coming to the surgical steps, all these cases should be treated like posterior polar cataract. One should take precaution as posterior polar cataract. So in these cases, hydrodissection should be avoided, and all the parameters should be low, and bottle height should also be low. One should use a bimanual technique as in cases in the event of PCR. Chances of hydration of vitreous is less with bimanual compared to coaxial. And one should regularly use viscodispersive agent to tamponade the vitreous in the event of PCR. And 3-piece acrylic IOL is always preferable with optic capture. The short video clip that has been provided by Swasar. Hydrodelineation being plus and it is moving the
Dr. Amit,
code.
you can put off the video for yourself when you're playing the video. Your video, that is.
It is not being seen?
No. Okay, now. Okay.
Oh. Probably due to internet connection, there was.
Yeah.
So, after filling the entire chamber with viscoelastic, one should do vitrectomy. If there is facility, one can use trocar and do past plan vitrectomy is always better for clearing vitreous. But one can do from anterior side also. And 3-piece IOL is being implanted and optic capture will be done. And then tricode is being injected to see any remaining vitreous in the AC. So that's how surgery complete. So to summarize, large number of patients are benefiting from intravitreal injections. Adequate precautions should be taken while giving intravitreal injection. A small percentage of them may end up with iatrogenic capsular damage and traumatic cataracts. Preoperative use of imaging modality can be very useful to detect or confirm PC defect. Meticulous pre-op evaluation and proper surgical approach enhance surgical results in these cases. Thank you very much for participating.
Thank you, Dr. Amit. That was a really excellent talk. Since nowadays we see a lot of patients getting intravitreal injections, so this problem is going to increase day by day because this intravitreal injection is not being given by retroretinal surgeon or trained, but so many new persons who actually were afraid of giving intravitreal antibiotic in endophthalmitis, and nowadays giving anti-VEGF right and left. So chances are that sometimes they will end up with this problem. So it's very important problem is going to come in coming days. So thank you very much.